I can do and what I'll definitely deliver on. We have $150,000 in discretionary budget annually for city councilmen for the neighborhood, because that's where my head is at. What can I deliver for the Upper West Side, for District 6, above all? $150,000. Look at the budget for 2021. There's $30,000 for Alvin Ailey. There's no money going to NYCHA. There's almost no money going to services on the street. All of the money under my if I was in tenure, would go to providing services on the street. Homelessness is not the same as a housing crisis. Homelessness is in large part a mental illness crisis. It's a drug addiction crisis, and we can afford with that $150,000 to have people on the street that are helping with public safety, helping with health outreach, and making sure people don't die. I'm not sure why I'm having so much trouble getting a response on that from anyone, but multiple fatalities. How do we provide that service so that doesn't keep happening? The second thing is the community board. The community board is completely broken. If you go to a community board meeting, you'll see we're not getting a response. Right now, there's 2 residents from the projects from NYCHA who are on the community board. So, we have a large budget, but we're not having a large representation. And if we're talking about public safety and if we want to get good results, we have to have a fair and equitable group. In terms of police issues and getting answers, the community board has so much power and so much influence in terms of liaisoning police, calling them before them to interact, and expressing specific concerns. And if we can actually have a fair and functioning community board, I'll appoint 23 members when elected, then that will go a long way. So those are 2 things. I have many things, but those are 2 that I know I can deliver.
Zack, what you said about homelessness being largely a mental health crisis and drug use issue, you're referring to people who are living currently on the street, because that's not true for people living in the shelter system.
Yeah, well, the law of the land, as you I'm sure know from Gotham Gazette, because I've read a lot of your mental illness policy, which a lot of it's fantastic. The law of the land of the city council, of the city, is you're entitled to a bed, guaranteed, if you need one. That is the law. Every single person, they'll even get you a hotel in another place outside the city. Who's living on the street? It's people that are not comfortable with the shelters, but it's mostly people who are severely ill, who are having a lot of trouble.
I just wanted to clarify that's what you're referring to. Okay.
I was referring to that. In general, I do think it's a problem. Again and again and again, people are dying, and there's no.
Gail Brewer on 2 pressing issues in the district and what you would try to do if elected to the city council.
Well, there are certainly many of them, but I'm just going to pick, as others have, the small business and public safety. So in terms of the stores that are vacant, 2 things. One is I did pass, as I indicated earlier, stating that zoning is a bit of a solution. Small